Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Isaiah and Willow's cabin fever, a runaway bride finds comfort in steam? According to General Hospital teasers, Isaiah Gannon and Willow Tate might develop a romantic relationship in the future. Will Isaiah's arms, and possibly even his bed, provide solace to this fugitive bride? The money pit cabin that Isaiah received as a gift from Lucky Spencer has been the subject of numerous conversations recently. There is still a lot of work to be done, but Isaiah is excited to make it the ideal vacation spot. Isaiah actually stated that he has meetings with contractors, so he will have to miss Willow and Drew Kane's wedding. Isaiah stated that he would go to the cabin after his shift rather than staying for the wedding because rescheduling would cause the job to be delayed. Given that the wedding is quickly approaching, there must be a reason why Isaiah's cabin has been mentioned so frequently. Because Isaiah talked about the costly upgrades he was conducting at his cabin, Willow is well informed about it. Fans of GH are aware that Isaiah and Willow have become close friends in recent months. Depending on where the plot develops, we could definitely see Willow and Isaiah moving outside of their buddy zone. We should think about what Willow might do after her wedding, since her entire world is about to fall apart. Willow can lose her temper and leave the church immediately after learning that Drew and Nina Reeves have been concealing their previous liaisons for a long time. Where would Willow go if this becomes a circumstance where she becomes a runaway bride? Is it possible that Willow will end up in Isaiah's cabin and take refuge there with him? The fact that Isaiah is leaving the wedding to travel to his cabin just before Willow needs to leave seems noteworthy. Could a romantic relationship develop between Willow and Isaiah if they do wind up hanging out at the cabin together? Willow could ask Isaiah to help her temporarily forget her pain, but he might be reluctant to take advantage of her when she is weak. Willow may maintain that Isaiah is a sincere good man, in contrast to the scammer she fell for when she selected Drew. It makes sense that Willow would be drawn to Isaiah during her difficult period. Stay tuned for updates on any exciting news that may come up because Isaiah might get caught up in the moment and kiss Willow or perhaps hit the sheets. We'll see if Isaiah is Willow's new knight in shining armor since, according to General Hospital spoilers, she will be exhausted from all the wedding drama. Unbelievable news, unsettling conduct, rescue of hostages? Lucas Jones tries to free the hostages, Willow Tate exhibits troubling behavior, and Carly Spencer receives unexpected news. Unbelievable news. Jason Morgan, who just returned from Paris, gives Carly unbelievable news at the Metro Court pool. Carly can hardly believe what she is hearing. She asks, "Thought you saw Britt Westbourne where?" in shock at Jason's report. Given how many people in Port Charles have returned from the dead, including Jason, Carly is unlikely to believe he has gone insane or is experiencing hallucinations. She will most likely believe that Britt's death was staged, that her mother Liesl Albrecht concealed it somewhere, or that she was trying to find a treatment for Huntington's disease. She might mention that option, of course, as there also appears to be a wave of secret twins in Port Charles. Elsewhere, Nina Reeves has vital information for Drew Kane, who is most likely the last person she should share it with. He'll make sure to capitalize on the knowledge that Daisy Gilmore was the target of an attack. That's why Sasha Corbin and her baby with Michael Corinthos fled Port Charles, she tells him. Given that she saw Willow's despair after Wiley and Amelia Corinthos were taken from her, Nina is probably secretly concerned that Willow might be the culprit. Instead of assuming it's Willow, Drew will turn it around and speculate that it's probably one of Sonny Corinthos' adversaries. Regarding conduct meanwhile, Willow at GH reacts to the accusations that Portia Robinson just made against her by saying, "Michael didn't fight fairly, why should I?" Portia had informed her that Drew was using blackmail to coerce her into fabricating Michael's medical records to demonstrate his opioid addiction in order to guarantee that he would lose custody of the children. Willow believes Michael is being dishonest about the child custody issues, thus it appears that she doesn't care if Drew is doing immorally, she will act immorally as well. It is possible that Portia will find it hard to believe what she is hearing from the once caring nurse who put her life in danger to give birth to Amelia. After discarding her wedding invitation in the trash, it appears that her attempts to expose Drew's actual character went straight to one Willow's ear and back again. ADA Justine Turner has questions for Jen Sidwell at the PCPD regarding the disappearance of Marco Rios, which is thought to be an abduction. Given that Marco hasn't been freed yet, she asks Sidwell if he thinks his son might be in danger. A deal had just been reached between Sidwell and Sunny to release Marco from his captivity. Turner aims to take advantage of this circumstance to get Sunny and throw him in jail since she is hot to do it. However, it is extremely unlikely that Sidwell will put Sunny under the bus before Marco is freed. Uncomfortable conversations as Dante Falconeri gets closer. It appears like Sunny might still be at the PCPD. When Dante asks his father why he is there, he responds that they really don't want to talk about it. In order to avoid being too entangled in cases involving his gangster father, Dante has always had to balance the roles of son and police officer. A conflict of interest would always arise if Dante got involved in his father's police case. Sunny advises him to avoid the cases because they might potentially be dismissed from court. Rescue of hostages? Meanwhile, Lucas uses the key in the address where he thinks Marco is being held to try to free the hostages. Someone left a tiny package with the key and the address in it for him at the hospital. Now that Marco has vanished, Lucas is furious and yells and bangs loudly, "Marco, are you in there?" He made the accusation at the PCPD, where Harrison Chase took the report, even though it has just been 24 hours. Will Marco remain there, strapped to a chair, or will he leave? Since Sunny keeps his word, Marco is most likely present. Kelly Thibault says she's extremely excited to be back on General Hospital as Britt. Jason was taken aback when he saw a woman at the Paris airport who had a striking resemblance to Britt from General Hospital. He has yet to learn who she really is on the soap opera, but TV Insider revealed that Kelly Thibault has made a comeback as Britt Westbourne, who is not a lookalike and is not nearly as dead as people think. Thibault exclaimed, "I feel so fortunate to have a character that I truly enjoy playing. I really missed her." Return to action. Thibault joined the GH cast in September 2012 and has intermittently portrayed the troublemaking doctor over the years. Her character was killed off in the start of 2023 when the actor decided to leave the program, despite the fact that her most recent run, which started back in September 2020, seemed to be more permanent. As much as I love Britt and I love the fans and I love working on General Hospital, I just felt like I had to leave and go and pursue those other dreams and goals of mine, because being on GH full-time doesn't really allow the flexibility to do other projects, Thibault explained in an interview with Soap Opera Digest. Britt's demise at the hands of serial killer The Hook while attempting to save Jocelyn was the catalyst for her departure. Viewers saw Britt pass away in her mother Liesl Albrecht's arms after the poison in The Hook did its job. There is obviously more to the story, though, and Jason will have to find it now that she is flying across Europe. When Steve Burton left GH in November 2021, his character was once again assumed dead, and Britt and Jason were only starting to explore their relationship. In March 2024, Jason returned, and now that Britt has followed suit, Thibault is eager to continue where they left off. When the couple split up and were unable to continue traveling together, she said, "That was heartbreaking. I was so excited for it, and it felt like I finally found someone that I could really grow with on the show, so hopefully that continues." Rocco's quest for answers after learning the truth, that Britt stole one of Lulu and Dante's embryos and gave birth to their child herself, will also be continued. "That will undoubtedly be thrilling," Thibault exclaimed. The actress, who has come to adore the role over the years, is overjoyed to be returning to Port Charles. "I obviously want Britt and Jason to get back together as far as the story goes," Thibault stated. "I can't wait to continue where we left off, to develop as an actor, to learn from my experiences and lessons, to improve and be more present in my work, and to be more present on set with the people who put so much effort into putting the show together. That's my main priority." Could Sophia Mattsson's departure from General Hospital lead to a doomsday scenario in Salem? Since Sophia Mattsson left the ABC soap opera, General Hospital spoilers indicate that Sasha Gilmore is currently living her best life outside of Port Charles. Could this, perhaps, lead to her going to another soap opera destination? Sophia Mattson may attend Days on social media. Fans of daytime soap have been conjecturing that Sophia Mattson might attend Days of Our Lives. After all, could DOL attempt to replicate Days' super pair magic by recasting Mattson as Abigail DiMera, with Billy Flynn playing Chad DiMera and Connor Floyd from The Young and the Restless as the new Chad? Chabby has been missed by fans. However, some DOL viewers also rejected the notion of Mattson portraying Joy Wesley, who left the soap opera heavily pregnant but kept her unborn child a secret from Alex Kyriakis, her biological father. If she came back with a different face, how shocking would that be? The possibilities are endless. Fans are aware that Matsson could bring a distinctive perspective to the legacy character Claire Brady, who was last portrayed by Isabella Durant. Matsson could play the bad girl just as well as she has played the nice one, but another day's viewer on social media argues that Sloane Peterson should return to town to sow mayhem. However, Sophia can choose to visit other soap opera towns besides Salem. Another option is Genoa City, where some YNR fans have proposed on social media that she play the recast Summer Newman and bring the legacy character back from Italy. While Matsson might effortlessly transition into the world of fashion or the realm of Fairmont Crest, Sophia's star power could always be utilized by the other two CBS serial operas. Only time will tell, because Matsson hinted that she has some projects planned during a recent interview with TV Insider, but she kept them under wraps. In Port Charles, conflict frequently simmered beneath benevolent galas and courteous smiles, but occasionally it boiled over. And when it did, the fallout left scars on people who weren't even playing the game, broke families, and tore through bloodlines. It didn't only shake mobsters or gang bosses. This time, every indication suggested Giovanni Gio Palmieri was involved. His world was already changing, whether he knew it or not, and not in a way he could manage. Tracy paced like a general before a war in the Quartermaine mansion's carved mahogany corridors. This was nothing new to her. Her instincts had been sharpened by decades of living under the long shadow of Port Charles's darkest elements. When something started to feel strange, the question was not if the blow will occur, but rather when and where. She took another look at her phone and read the message from her contact: "Sidwell is watching Gio. Pictures. Patterns of movement. Not playing bluffs." She mumbled, "Damn it," and began to phone. Gio was blissfully ignorant across town. He was drinking coffee on Kelly's back patio while attempting to complete an online application for a music program he had his eye on. There was no sun. Port Charles seems surprisingly composed. Gio saw the world of mobs as a headline, something that was discussed but not actually addressed. He had heard tales of Sonny Corinthos and his empire, to be sure, but they didn't seem plausible. He was unaware that Sonny had given an ultimatum just the night before, which completely changed the balance of power in Port Charles's underground society. Jen Sidwell's son, Marco Rios, was now in Sonny's care. Taken hostage. Managed. Still alive, for now. But there was a caution in every action Sonny made. This hostage was his method of reminding the city who was in charge, since his hold on power was beginning to wane. Sonny had struck quickly and precisely in vengeance for the ambush outside Charlie's pub that had almost killed Christina. Before Sidwell's crew even realized Marco was missing, he had been taken. Now, sitting in his compound, the Port Charles kingpin demanded respect, retribution, and an end to Sidwell's power struggle. Sidwell, however, was not going to back down. No, his rage was raging. Sidwell would touch his blood, just as Sonny had touched his. Photo after photo, file after file, Sidwell's men had gone through it all. They were examining more than simply Sonny's well-known relatives. They were moving farther. Deeper. In the midst of one of those photo stacks, the camera had caught Gio waving to Brooklyn and Leo while grinning naively outside the Port Charles Community Center. Now that picture was printed. Underlined. In red pen, circled. Gio was no longer merely a possible pawn. The next move was him. Tracy's call was finally answered back at the Quartermaine estate. She snapped, "Brooklyn," as soon as her granddaughter spoke. "Where is Gio?" "Well, the last time I looked, he was at Kelly's." "Why, remove him from there. Right now. Just do it, without argument. Additionally, you should inform Sonny that this has gone too far if you see him." Brooklyn remained silent. Tracy's grandmother didn't usually sound frightened, but at that moment, her voice was almost panicked. After hanging up, she picked up her keys and headed to her car, ringing Gio. It rang. And rang. No response. Gio, meanwhile, had at last gotten up from his table and was stretching while putting his laptop away. He didn't notice when his phone buzzed once in his back pocket. The black SUV parked across the street diverted his attention too much. Sidwell's men were already in that car, observing. Through a microphone, the driver stated, "Target confirmed. Standing. By themselves. Unarmed." A replying voice crackled. Sonny gazed at the monitors in his living room across town as he said, "We move in 60 seconds. Chatter from Sidwell's encrypted line had been intercepted by one of his technicians. "You might want to try your nephew," the technician muttered. Sonny's jaw tightened as he said, "We're still trying to pinpoint the location." "Geo?" "That doesn't matter to Sidwell. He's not even involved." Sonny realized then that Sidwell wouldn't hit where Sonny was expecting. He would never again touch Christina. With Jason close by, he wouldn't touch Carly. Young, idealistic, and unguarded, Geo was easy prey. Track him down. Now. However, it was already taking place. A door opened as Geo got off the curb to cross the street. Two men, precise and well-trained, moved quickly. While one shoved a chili barrel into his side, the other seized his shoulder. "Refrain from screaming," the taller one advised. Geo froze when he said, "You'll walk like we're old friends." His thoughts were racing. What the devil? Brooklyn approached the corner just in time to witness Geo being led into the rear of the SUV and said, "Walk." Before she could see the license plate, the SUV veered off in the opposite direction and vanished down the road. She slammed on the gas, her tires shrieking as she swung into the intersection. She was trembling when she pulled over and had already called Dante. All of the Corinthos associates in Port Charles had been informed within 10 minutes. As Sonny muttered obscenities, Jason sadly remarked, "Joe's been taken," while holding his phone to his ear. Carly stood close by, in disbelief. "Why would Sidwell bring him along?" Jason answered, "Because he knows Sonny will burn the city to the ground to get him back." A few hours later, Tracy barged into Sonny's house with rage in her heart. Coldly, she said, "I warned you. You should keep him out of this," I said. "However, you refused to listen." Sonny made no protests. Tracy flung her handbag down the table and said, "I didn't think Sidwell would go that far." "You never do. And people always pay the price." Meanwhile, Geo was pushed into a chair in a secluded safe house nestled in the city's outskirts. He had a bleeding lip. He had zip-tied his hands. The man on the other side of him paced slowly, his eyes cold and piercing. He whispered, "So, you're the cherished grandson." "I have no idea what this is," Geo yelled. "You have the wrong guy. You have a relationship with Sonny. That's all that matters. I don't have anything to do with him." "You do." Brooklyn was unable to remain motionless back in Port Charles. While Dante worked with police enforcement, she paced his flat. She continued playing back the scene where she saw him disappear. "I ought to have arrived sooner. If only I had departed 5 minutes sooner." Dante drew her into an embrace. "You are not to blame for this." Even he wasn't sure whether he could fulfill the pledge, but we'll find him. For his part, Geo kept to himself at the warehouse. Hours went by. No food. No responses. I had no idea who was coming. He wasn't broken, though. Not quite yet. Christina entered Sonny's compound in a rage. She remarked, "I thought this was over." Sonny said in a gruff voice, "You took Sidwell's kid, and now he's taken someone from us. It's not tit for tat here." Jason clenched his jaw. "This is war. He desires Marco's return. The trade is that." Sonny paced. "We don't negotiate." From the corner, Tracy said, "Not like this." Jason finally said what no one else would, "Then get used to seeing his body at the morgue. We should think about the trade." "Nope," Sonny yelled. "He's only a child," Carly said softly. "A soldier is not what he is." It was clear from Sonny's silence that he didn't ask for this. Days went by. Sidwell purposefully kept quiet. No requirements. No exchange of messages. Simply waiting. Allowing Sonny to suffer. At last, though, a parcel showed up. Not a word. No justification. Joe's hoodie was inside, shredded, bloody, and clearly identifiable. When Brooklyn saw it, she almost passed out. After staring at it for a while, Sunny muttered, "It's time." The meeting was scheduled. Neutral territory. Church that has been abandoned. 2 groups. A child exchanged for another. Marco was delivered by Jason. Gio was delivered by Sidwell. However, the war continued even after the swap. Because Gio came back transformed, not just shaken. His eyes had changed in some way. More difficult. He also muttered something to Brooklyn that she never would have heard as he was hugging her. As she watched from the sidelines, Tracy thought, "I think they told me something I wasn't supposed to know." She realized right away that this was not the end. This was just the start. Is Britt still alive? General Hospital spoilers reveal Willow's fearless defense and Jason's startling sighting. Carly is upset by Jason's news about Britt, while Willow stands up for Drew in the face of startling facts. Lucas rushes toward danger while Dante gets closer to the answers. Everything is falling apart quickly. Jason tells Carly the Brit bombshell. Jason Morgan tells Carly what he witnessed in Paris. A woman who resembled Britt Westbourne shakes him. Carly pays close attention, but she doesn't believe it. Is Jason only seeing what he wants to see, she wonders? Jason doesn't want to ignore the occasion, though. His gut tells him that there's more going on here. Is Britt really still alive? It wouldn't be the first resurrection given Port Charles's past. Jason won't let it go, even though Carly might shrug it off. General Hospital spoilers, Willow defends Dirty Drew's actions. Willow is shocked by Portia's admission. She finds out that in order to paint Michael as an opioid user, Drew coerced a doctor. Rather than becoming angry, Willow becomes defensive. She defends Drew's behavior by portraying him as a helpless man attempting to keep her children safe. Willow is by Drew's side even when Nina confronts him. She thinks Drew is fighting fire with fire and perceives Michael as the bad guy. She said, "Why should I fight fairly when Michael didn't?" establishes the mood for the following action. A conflict is on the horizon. Enraged at the results of Drew's devious tactics, Nina snaps at him. She believes he might have been responsible for the threat to Sasha's child, which prompted her to leave. Nina doesn't believe Drew when he denies any participation. Willow is by Drew's side even when Nina confronts him. She thinks Drew is fighting fire with fire and perceives Michael as the bad guy. She said, "Why should I fight fairly when Michael didn't?" establishes the mood for the following action. A conflict is on the horizon. Enraged at the results of Drew's devious tactics, Nina snaps at him. She believes he might have been responsible for the threat to Sasha's child, which prompted her to leave. Nina doesn't believe Drew when he denies any participation. General Hospital spoilers, Sunny warns Dante. Dante takes matters into his own hands as ADA Turner puts pressure on Sidwell. He questions Sunny about the kidnapping of Marco. However, Sunny swiftly turns it off. He makes it apparent that there are some topics that a father and son cannot discuss. Dante is aware of the strain and the possibility that he will never learn the whole truth. Sunny tries to keep him safe, but it's annoying. The more Dante excavates, the more hazardous the area gets. Unsettling information regarding Rocco is given to Dante and Lulu. It appears that he visited Liesel Albrecht in private, without their consent. Concerns are raised, particularly in light of everything else that is happening in the community. A storm of emotions, conflicts, and surprising turns are all part of Wednesday's episode. Will Kin Shriner be going back to the General Hospital at last? Fans speculated that Kin Shriner was returning to Port Charles based on his mysterious travel posts on X and Instagram. Fans of General Hospital have been engaged in an unending back and forth. Supporters have questioned if Kin Shriner will return to Port Charles with Scotty Baldwin, his favorite ambulance chaser. He made a suggestion that the door had closed on him in June. Since then, though, he has kept the fans entertained by offering an unexpected homage to the beloved thriller The Birds. However, his most recent cryptic social media messages suddenly allude to something that his admirers have been hoping for all along. He's a gentleman. Shriner posted a black and white picture of himself on a plane with headphones around his neck and a cute dog in his lap on X, formerly Twitter. Wearing a suit, he tweeted, "Flying back to LA, old school, dog, and a movie showing." When paired with a polo shirt rather than a dress shirt, his sports coat didn't exactly resemble a suit. Maura West, star of GH, said, "A gentleman through and through." XX, many of the fans offered to drive him from the airport, and many others sent him well wishes. "I remember a time when we dressed up to fly," recounted one devotee. "However, I don't miss having to carry my bags." However, one admirer asked, "What film?" A return to Tinseltown. Shriner's post continued on Instagram, where he shared a black and white video of himself watching an old film while flying. "Flying back to Hollywood to get my foot in the door," was the caption he wrote. In the video, he said, "TCM," referring to his preferred TV station, Turner Classic Movies. "Here with Tula enjoying at TCM." Fans expressed their desire that Scotty would be retaliated against, with one saying, "I really hope you're coming back to GH." Another exclaimed, "Albrecht, Kathleen Gotti, is back. You have been missed, kin red heart red heart red heart red heart. Scotty needs to get back to GH," and someone else immediately concluded that he was coming back with, saying, "I've always told you that they will always make that call. You are a pioneer. I'm very glad for you, Redheart." Willow's delusions get deeper as the mysterious letter is revealed. Willow, who was blissfully ignorant, invited Portia and Curtis to her wedding today on GH. But Portia was about to give Willow a severe reality check when she threw out the invitation and told her about Drew's blackmail plot. Sonny Corinthos and Jen Sidwell strike a deal, Portia Robinson confesses, and Lois Cerullo has a heart-to-heart. Additionally, Lucas Jones files a missing persons report and accuses Sonny, and Martin Gray discovers a handmade card intended for Monica Quartermaine. During the heart-to-heart still on the Heart and Home set, Lois recalls being dismissed by Brooke Lynn Quartermaine. Flora Gardens gives her tea and support. After the fight with her daughter, Lois is having trouble and won't listen to any logic. Flora explains that moms frequently conceal information from their kids in order to protect them. Flora thinks it's a big lie when Lois tells her what she did. Lois knows she will never be forgiven and tells the whole story, acknowledging that her secret destroyed everything. It ruined her connections with Gio Palmieri and BLQ, and even worse, Joe's relationship with BL. Despite this, she refused to change anything. She could have at least admitted to Brooke Lynn that she was to blame for everything they are dealing with. Lois acknowledges that she was young once as well, and she still takes responsibility. Portia's disclosure. Portia opens her hospital office to Isaiah Gannon. When she doesn't smile when she greets him, he becomes anxious because he thinks he's going to be fired. She reassures him that's not the case and tells him the truth. She is aware that the board would probably ask her to quit shortly. If she doesn't, she will have to sacrifice her values, which she will no longer do. She appreciates his support and enjoys working with him, and he says he regrets and admires her decision, adding that he will miss her. He tells her that she should fight if she's going to fall, and she promises to do so. Sonny's Sidwell deal. Sonny calls Sidwell at Laura Collins' office, and Sidwell tells him he will get what he wants. Laura walks in, and he hangs up. He asks her to cut off contact with him after she brings up Nina Reeves' interview, threatening to take action if she doesn't. She is aware that Lulu Spencer and he have been talking about this, but this is her decision, not Lulu's. Since the bad press won't endure forever, Sonny advises her to do this for the time being. ADA Justine Turner then calls Sonny and says she needs to talk to him right away since she knows he is seeing Laura. Laura refuses to openly criticize Sonny. Laura explains that she will not openly criticize Sonny since people will see right through it, and he concurs with her. To find out what Turner wants with him, he heads to the PCPD. After a meeting, Jordan Ashford later shows up with an update on Sidwell. When Laura learns of Marco Rios' demands and kidnapping, she is shocked. Jordan suggests that Sonny is no longer the lesser of two evils and that he is equally responsible as Sidwell. Sidwell informs Drew he must stop abusing Sonny and withdraw his support for Measure C. Sidwell informs Drew Kane, who lets him inside the house, that he must stop abusing Sonny and withdraw his support for Measure C. Martin, who is there as well, gets up to tell Tracy Quartermaine that he might still be able to finance Drew. He leaves, and Drew questions what has changed. Sidwell admits that Sonny abducted his son and cautions him that continuing in this manner could cost him in ways he cannot fathom. Jens is opposed to Jordan's suggestion that Anna Devane be involved in this issue. There is a crucial deadline, and he assures him that Sunny will pay in unexpected ways. After Sidwell and Jordan go, Martin returns to Drew's house and discovers a homemade card. When Martin returns, he discovers that everyone else has departed after Drew extends an invitation to the wedding, with the stipulation that Martin must get payment from Drew in order to attend. Martin finds a handmade card for Monica, scribbled in crayon, under a chair while Drew is on the phone with the hospital, looking for Portia. When Drew gets back, Martin shows him the card and asks whether he wants to keep it. Martin is left to look through it as Drew hastily leaves, assuming it was left by Wiley and Amelia Corinthos. As Martin reads the card, which expresses regret for Monica's illness, his surprise increases and his mouth falls open in shock. Turner overhears Lucas when he meets Harrison Chase at the PCPD and tells him that Dante Falconeri cannot be engaged in this matter before revealing that Marco has been missing for 24 hours. Lucas then files a missing persons report and accuses Sunny. He accuses Sunny of kidnapping him, but Chase explains to Lucas that Sunny is not necessarily to blame for the kidnapping just because someone has been missing for 24 hours. As Sunny arrives at the PCPD, ADA Turner overhears and concurs that they must act. Turner asserts that she is aware that he abducted Marco. Sunny brushes off her worries, saying he has no problem with Marco, who saved his daughter's life, and that there is no evidence against him. Turner claims he went after Sidwell's child. She threatens to arrest him if Marco doesn't show up within the next 24 hours, and Sunny wonders whether she called him because she missed him. Isaiah discusses the cabin at the nurse's hub. Willow personally delivers a wedding invitation to Drew for Elizabeth Weber, who appreciates its beauty. Willow invites Elizabeth to her and Drew's wedding. Willow acknowledges Maxie Jones and says she's thrilled Liz will be there because she thinks the event will be amazing. Nevertheless, Willow is upset since she knows her kids won't be there and she misses them terribly. After Willow leaves, Isaiah tells Liz that he won't be able to make it to the wedding this weekend because he has meetings with contractors about the cabin Lucky Spencer gave him. Liz hopes Willow finds the happiness she expects as they discuss Drew's problems and how they might affect the wedding and their marriage. When Martin tells Tracy about Measure C, Tracy remarks that he's like a weed, unattractive and useless. Martin meets BLQ at the pool. When he tells her that Sidwell has withdrawn all financing and support, he can't help but smile. She asks Martin why, but he can't explain that Drew is unable to pay for the measure himself. Feel free to slither away to your overlord, Tracy says Martin, promising to handle it with full funding. He asks what will happen if she runs out of money, but she assures him that won't happen. He departs, and Brooklyn thinks she's behaving like Sidwell and Ezra Boyle. Although BLQ argues that this isn't true for everyone, Tracy asserts that she is telling the truth. If he harms Sunny, he will also injure Gio, and Tracy cannot ignore this because of Gio. When Willow walks into Portia's office and hands her a wedding invitation, she throws it in the trash since she won't treat her with kindness. Willow also delivers a key and a note to Lucas. Portia informs her that it's time for her to learn the truth about her fiancé. Willow looks astonished when she tells the soon-to-be bride that this is the man she will marry and reveals Drew's latest extortion scheme. After returning to work, Lucas informs Isaiah that he completed the tasks at hand. Isaiah hands him a little box that was left for Lucas. It's a key and a card with an address on it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.